Alright guys, so today we're going to be working on, it's going to be day 5 of mobility, which is going to be mobilizing the shoulders. A lot of what we're going to be working on today is establishing a gliding surface for that scapula. That shoulder blade should be able to move relatively freely across that rib cage. And the other thing is establishing a vertical scapula, vertical shoulder blade. What we're looking to achieve is, if you think about this as being your shoulder blade here, and this is your humerus here, the top of that upper arm there. What happens is, because of the fact that we sit down throughout the day here and we're typing and we're looking up this way at the screen, that is what's called upper cross syndrome. You get you lose that vertical scapula, and what happens is that scapula starts to roam upward this way across your rib cage. And now when we go to press overhead here, we can't get very high overhead, or it starts to create wear and tear of that tissue around that shoulder, and we start to have aches and pains in that shoulder. So first thing we're going to start off with is going to be the foam roller or rumper roller. I'm going to loosen up those lats a bit, and so what I'm going to have you do is your lats, that back side of your armpit, okay? And it goes about a third of the way down to your back. It goes actually all the way down to your hips, but we're not going to roll that. So we're going to start off about a third of the way down to your back. We're going to roll up into your armpit, and then we're going to roll back across the back of that shoulder blade to get those rotator cuff muscles too as well in there. So what we're going to do, I'm going to have you lay down on your side here. And we're going to start off a third of the way down. We're going to look for any tender spots on there. Once again, we want to be looking forward and backwards, leaning back and turning your chest toward the ground too as well. And then we're going to slowly move that roller back into our armpits. And once again, we're looking for any tender spots. Those tender spots, anything that we find that feels tender, we're going to hold that for a total of 30 seconds. You can even hold it up to a minute if you like. Get a little bit extra out of that, and then we're going to get that shoulder blade back across the back of that shoulder blade here. Okay? And that's a little bit tender, so I'm going to hang out there for a little bit. But anything that feels tender, we're just going to hang on that spot. So you're going to go from everywhere from a third of the way down your back, on that back, that lat there, up into your armpit, and the back side of your armpit, and across the back of your shoulder blade. The next one that we're going to do is going to be for our rhomboids. And your rhomboids sit between your shoulder blade and your spine, kind of angle themselves diagonally up this way toward your upper, the base of your neck there. And so what we're going to do, and then it slides across to that groove, that shoulder blade. So if this is my shoulder blade on this side here, this is my spine. What we're going to do is we're going to peel that shoulder blade around, open by putting your opposite hand on the opposite shoulder. And what that's going to do is it's going to take that shoulder blade and open up this way. It's going to allow you to get in that groove of that shoulder blade. What we're going to do is we're going to take, this is a yoga ball, but we're going to take either that or a lacrosse ball. Any type of ball that you have that's relatively stiff will work just fine. And we're going to run it right across that ridge of that shoulder blade, the inside ridge of that shoulder blade, that ridge between the shoulder blade and the spine, okay? So we're going to lay down here, and we're going to get that entire ridge. Find that ball. We're going to put opposite hand on opposite shoulder. We can hip bridge into that. Breathe into it. Try to look for any tender spots out in there. And a lot of times it gets real tacky feeling in there. Just feels like it's all bound up. We want to try to peel all that apart and just pull apart all those fibers in there, okay? Now, the next thing that we're looking to do is going to be on the front side. And very commonly, it's these tissues here that get tight. They tighten down here. And these tissues, they get tight. Okay, so it gets a little bit complicated, but there are two types of tights. There's tight short and there's tight long. There's a muscle is tight because it's put in that shortened position. And then on the back side, it feels like those muscles are stretching out, and they're at the end of their elasticity point. They won't elongate any further, and so therefore they're tight too as well. So it's kind of both tight. But the next one that we're going to do, though, is going to be just kind of peeling apart that anterior deltoid, that front of that shoulder here from your chest. And what we're going to do is we're going to put that ball down. This is going to be an alpha ball here, excuse me. We're going to put that down right in between that. We're going to run right in that groove between that chest and that shoulder. And then we're going to look for anything tender throughout that chest in here, okay? You'll find that a lot of times you'll find most of that tension on the outer side, that attachment into that anterior deltoid. So you can spend a little more time there. But all this is going to look like, we're going to lay down here, right where that chest meets that shoulder. I'm going to run right through that groove, looking for anything tender on there. I'm going to hit that pectoralis minor. So if you draw a line going from that pointing your shoulder here all the way down to like your nipple line. That'd be your pectoralis minor. We want to roll through that, make sure that's not too tight. You got to figure that muscle starts here and ends here. And so as it tightens down, it's going to internally rotate that shoulder, which could be very hard on a lot of motions that we go through, okay? You could also use the roller for this position too as well. And go down through here and get that anterior deltoid too as well. A lot of times I'll spend some time with the ball right in that groove, and then I'll take this on out. I'll hit that entire anterior deltoid. You can put that hand behind your back to get up high. You can even bring your hips up off the ground in order to work your way through that. And then we're going to work all the way down through our bicep, looking for any tender spots there in that bicep too as well. So just as a quick review, we're going to do foam roller on the lats. You can use the alpha ball too as well. It just spend a little more time with it. It's not as great of a surface area. It'll be more intense. And you're going to work your way all up into the back of that armpit and to the back of that shoulder blade there. The next one that we do after that is going to be our rhomboid, which we're going to do, here it is, with the small yoga ball or just a lacrosse ball. We're lay down on our back, open up that shoulder this way, run through that groove. The next one that we do is going to be separating out the chest from that anterior deltoid, so just running through that groove right in through here, and then we're going to work on everything from the chest all the way down the bicep. So hitting that shoulder, you could go through and put the hand behind your back if you like to, in order to hit more of that upper head of that shoulder, and then work your way all the way down to that bicep. Make sure there's no tension through that bicep as well. Okay? As far as static stretching goes, we're going to come on over here. Hopefully you can see me once we get there. So these are our jump stretch bands here. I just have it attached to my pull-up bar up here. Ideally, I would suggest getting a jump stretch band. There's a lot you can do with it, especially when it comes to stretching. And some of these positions really, they're best with the jump stretch band, but you could always take like a truck tie, you could take a rope, anything that you could hold on to is fine. The jump stretch bands, what I would generally have people do is put their hand through the band and then reach back around and grab onto the band here. Okay, I'll show you this arm here. So the first one that we're going to do is going to be stretching out that lat here, all this tissue back in here along the backside of the armpit. And I just want to try to separate my hips from my hand as much as I can. Then try to elongate the distance between these 2 points as much as you drastically can. Turn into various positions, open up, switch around this way, switch around this way. See where you feel more or less tension, and hang out in that spot. Once we find a bit of tension, once you feel like there's a band in there, don't be afraid to spend a little bit of time on there. Generally a minimum of 2 minutes. Remember, for every one of our stretches, seems a bit excessive, but in order to create adaptation, long-lasting adaptation, you need to spend some time in there, okay? Next one we're going to do is going to be to stretch out that chest. We're going to go palm facing forward. Once again, I'm grabbing onto that band. My hand goes through the band, and I grab onto the loop here on the back side. And we're going to rotate away this way. Big a chest as you can, and you should be able to feel that stretch all the way down through here, okay? As far as you can. Next one we're going to do, let's see here. See if I can get this from here. Okay, and so what we're going to do on this one is we're going to stretch out that front of that shoulder. So what I did was I grabbed the jump stretch band here, and I went, back behind my back, and I want to just lean into that. Try to open that as far as you can. Try to separate that arm away from your body. Feel that stretch with that front of that shoulder here. Don't be afraid to spend a little bit of time there. Okay? Once again, hanging out there for anywhere from 2 to 5 minutes, depending on how much that is bothering you. Last one I'm going to have you guys do. Let's see if we can see from this angle. You can just grab a countertop. I'm going to do it on the bar here. You're going to put your hands up, or your elbows up on the bar slide over here, so it doesn't roll. And then I'm just going to bring my head down through that hole. I'm just trying to stretch out all this tissue here. You'll find a lot with shoulders that the mobility of your thoracic spine will decipher the health of your shoulders, okay? And so if I am stuck in this position here all day long, that shoulder can't go very far before you hit that shoulder impingement, okay? So what we want, work on that posture all throughout the day. You should be able to stack ear over shoulder, over hip, over ankle, and concentrate on pulling the shoulder blades back. You might be surprised how much that'll help your shoulder health and be able to fix up that overhead position, be able to take tension off your lower back, all the way down, etc., etc., okay? All right, guys, a quick review on the static stretching. Hand through the loop, drop those hips back, separate the distance between wrist to hip, okay? Second position, hand back through the loop again, opening up this way, and then we're gonna rotate away, keeping that palm facing forward throughout. We do not want to internally rotate that shoulder. It's not what we're looking to achieve. We're looking to achieve that external rotation here, okay? And then this one, we're actually working on that internal rotation to hit that anterior deltoid. So hand behind the back, and then we're gonna lean into that shoulder, pulling that arm back and away from your body, okay? Last one we're gonna do, elbows up on top of the countertop or on top of a bar, on top of whatever you might have, and then just pull that head through the hole, stretching out all this tissue through here, okay? Alrighty guys, that's day 5. Have a wonderful day.